All right, equipment you're gonna need today is the usual, a letter ball of some sort or a ball-shaped object with an interesting pattern, letters, numbers, a dog toy, something interesting for your eye to look at, and then 2 pencils or pens, preferably something with numbers on it. Sorry, numbers or letters on it. Okay, and then just remember for this class, because we work your visual vestibular system, it's okay if you start to feel tired eyes, itchy, watery eyes, anything like that. Maybe even a little dizzy with some of the vestibular work we do. But just know that once you've experienced any of those things, that you've met your edge, and we don't want to go too far past your edge. So back off, take a break, grab some water, and you can always close the eyes, which usually helps. Okay. We'll come back to a grounded position here, seated or standing. Now let's just start with a few shoulder circle rolls. Finding your breath. Okay, we'll come to a still point. We'll close the eyes. And allowing your body to settle here. So letting yourself either sink back into your seat if you're seated, or maybe rock back into your heels. So just getting grounded more through the back side of your body. And then starting to find that low belly breath. You can have one hand on the low belly if that helps. But just letting whatever surface that you're seated or standing on hold you, getting heavier. And then we'll just take a body scan from the head to the toes today. So just noticing how the scalp is feeling, and your head and your neck, and feel free to wiggle any of these parts around. And then how do the tops of your shoulders feel? Or maybe right in between your shoulder blades. How do your elbows feel? Your hands and wrists? And then how does your chest feel right now? The fronts of your shoulders, your whole belly area. You take a breath into that low belly area. Noticing how your back's feeling today, how your hips are feeling today. Down through your legs, your knees, your calves, your shins, and your ankles. And then if you're able to, give the toes a wiggle, maybe spread the toes away from each other. Okay, we'll take one more inhale, one more exhale, and we'll open the eyes. Okay, let's reach the arms up to the sky. We'll interlace the fingers if you can. Take an inhale, and then exhale to roll down. And I'm going to have you hang at the bottom here, or wherever close to the bottom you are. And I want you to start by doing a yes nod with your head. So lifting your head up and down. Yeah. And then come back to the center and then roll yourself up. Good. Reach up, shrug up, shrug, shrug, shrug. Inhale. And then exhale, roll down. We're going to hang at the bottom again. And this time I want you to shake your head no. So from side to side. And then back to the center, and then rolling yourself up. Let everything shrug up at the top. Let's do one more. And exhale, roll down. Okay, and then this last one, I just want you to move your head in a big circle. And then switching directions. And then back to the center and slowly roll up. Good. And then we'll open the arms big. Thumb is pointing up to the ceiling. And I want you to take your wrists and pull them back behind you. And just moving from the wrist, flexing it forward and flexing it back, but opening that chest as you do it. Yeah, good. And then release that, shake that out. Yeah, let's do one more for the shoulders before we wake some other areas up. So I want you to shrug your left shoulder up and down a few times. Okay, and then I want you to leave it shrugged up. And then you're going to tilt your ear towards that shoulder. So tilt your head to the left, and then you're going to tilt it away, but leave that shoulder shrugged up. Tilt it towards and away. Just nice and slow and easy. Don't force anything here. Towards and away. Let's do one more. Towards and away, and then release that shoulder down, shake it out. Okay, same thing on this right side. Start with a few shrugs up and down. Okay, and then we're going to leave it up. Tilt your head towards that shoulder and away. Towards and away. If this is pinchy for any of you, or it's causing any shooting pain, then don't do this. Just unshrug the shoulder. This shouldn't be pain, or I shouldn't say it shouldn't be, but if you're experiencing any of that, just ease off and lower the shoulder down. Okay, good. And relax. And then with both shoulders, just do a few shoulder rolls. Okay, and then just moving from the head and neck, turning to the left. And then turning to the right, just seeing how the neck is feeling after that little release. Back and forth a few times. And back to the center. Okay. Good. So let me actually scoot in for this. Let's do a little bit of cranium work here. Oops. Close out of that. Okay, great. So you're going to come, bring your hands to the top of your head. So going straight between your eyes as if you had a little faux hawk there, like I do. And you're going to take the fingers along that line and leave the fingers in one spot. Okay, so don't move them around. And then I want you to mobilize the skin and the scalp there. So let me bend towards you a little bit more. So I'm not moving my fingers over the skin. My fingers are staying in the same general place, and I'm mobilizing that area. I'm helping to mobilize one of the sutures of our skull. We've got 3 main ones and some other smaller ones. And just noticing like what parts of that suture, what parts of your fingers feel tight. Okay, good. Shake the hands out. And then we're going to find the one kind of on the sides of our head. So maybe an inch or so above the ears. And you might find a little bit of ridge. If you don't feel it, don't worry, as long as you're an inch or so above the ears. And I'm doing the same thing. So fingers are staying put on my scalp, and then I'm just moving the scalp and my fingers around, mobilizing the skin and the connective tissue, and noticing what parts are tight for me. Okay, good. And shake that out. We're going to do 2 more like that. I want you to imagine you were wearing a headband. Okay, going over, kind of up from your ears over the top of your head. So you might, again, you might find a ridge in this area. So putting your fingers along that line, like along where your headband would be on the top of your head. It's a little too far forward. And again, just mobilizing that area. This one is definitely a little bit more restricted for me. And you're moving your finger pads in all of the directions, forward, back, side to side, maybe at a diagonal. Okay, and shake that out. And then we're going to do one more. You're going to feel for that that bump you have in the back of your head. Don't worry, it's supposed to be there. And going along that bump out to the sides of your head, you might find another ridge. So finger pads are there, and then finding one last massage here. And maybe noticing, like, of all of those 4 places that we just did, the faux hawk, the back of the head, the side of the head, and the headband, which one was tightest for you? Okay, so just taking note of that. We usually have some tighter areas of the skull. Okay, and then release that. Okay, then let's just do one more head neck check in here. So just do one more neck rotation, turning your head left and right. And just out of curiosity for folks, because I haven't done a check-in like this in a while, if that improved your range of motion, give me a thumbs up. If it stayed the same, give me a side thumb. And if it got worse, give me a down thumb. Okay. 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 I see sides and up thumbs. Okay, cool. Okay. Let me move my headphones. Okay, we're just gonna do a couple ear pulls. So we'll grab the ear lobes and we're gonna pull down and back behind, trying to create some space between the ears. Yeah, and holding that and taking a couple of belly breaths into that. Take one more breath here. And then slowly release and shake that out. Okay, one more face tapping. We did this kind of face tapping last week. It's a little different than we had done the weeks before, but we're gonna add a hum to this face tapping. So using just the pads of your fingers or your knuckles very softly, if that's easier for you, you're just gonna start and we're gonna trace like 3 or 4 lines. Really what we're doing here is we're tracing one of our cranial nerves. We're gonna tap along our cheekbone, we're gonna tap down our jaw, and then we're gonna tap kind of up and across the forehead, okay? There's no wrong way to do this. You can stay on one line going back and forth. You can go like cheekbone, jaw, and then forehead. Whatever feels good, but just tracing those 3 lines really softly. It might feel nice to close the eyes here. And this is really gentle, really gentle. We're just waking up what we call the trigeminal cranial nerve here. Has a calming effect on the nervous system. For the most part, there are 3 places of our body that love to be touched, that love this kind of sensory input. It's our face, our hands, and our feet. Our brain has a lot of real estate for these 3 areas for the sensory input. So it's good to wake these areas up, to stimulate them. Okay, good. And then lastly, you're going to bring fingertips to the inside corners of your eyebrows, finding a little bit of pressure and holding. That pressure will be up and in towards each other. You can use your thumbs, you can use your pointer fingers. And then just taking 2 to 3 belly breaths, holding that light pressure there. Mhm. Okay, and relax. Good. Shake the hands out one more time. All right, let's do some body tapping here. Let's come right to the back, giving your low back, if you can reach your low back, a few taps. I'm using an open hand right now, but you can use a soft fist or the side of your fist. Remember, this is where your kidneys are, so don't go too hard here. And then bringing that around to the side, giving your belly a few taps. Around the rib cage. Good, and then let's bring it up to the chest. I'm gonna bring my hand to a soft fist, like you're a gorilla beating on your chest. Okay, and then let's do some sounds here. So let your jaw go slack, open your mouth big. Ah. Ooh. There you go, there you go. Ooh, all the way to the end of your breath. Ooh. And then E, all the way to the end of your breath. E. Good, relax, shake the arms out. All right, we'll come to the arms. Finding a tapping or a stroking. We'll work going down the inside and then up the outside. Do that a few times through on each side. I'm gonna grab a jacket because I'm feeling cold. Keep going, keep going. When you've done that side, switch over to the other side. Working your way going down the inside of the arm and up the outside of the arm. Maybe do one more here. And we're just gonna bring that right down into the lower body, down the outsides of the legs. Give the feet a rub if your feet are bare, and then up the insides. And same thing, working a few times through here. All right. Making sure you get the tops of the thighs. Maybe giving them a shake. And then we'll shake the hands out. Good. Let's find a rubbing of the hands together. And just going through and just rubbing each finger. The pointer, the middle, the ring, the pinky and thumb. Just bringing your attention to each one, switching hands. Pointer, middle, ring, and pinky. Okay, and then we'll shake that out. Good. Okay, we're gonna do for the lower legs or the feet, whatever you can reach. We're going to do some compress release. So we usually do some kind of a self release in there. But let's specifically do a compress release today. So if you're able to reach your feet, you're going to come to your feet and you're going to pretend like your feet are a sponge. Squeeze the foot, release. Squeeze, release, squeeze, release. Do that 3 times. And then you're going to move to a new part of the foot, maybe grabbing more of the arch, the middle of the foot, and then grabbing more of the heel. Okay, so do that compress release 3 times. The top of the foot, or sorry, by the toes, the middle of the foot, and by the heel. If you're unable to reach the feet, I want you to do the same thing working up your calf. So starting by the ankles, you're going to grab, compress, release 3 times, and just slowly do that, working your way up the calf. Okay. If you're unable to reach the calves, I want you to do the same thing on the thighs. And if squeezing a body part is hard grip strength wise, I just want you to lean on it. Lean and then come off of that. Lean, putting some pressure so my elbows kind of digging into my thighs, and then come off of that. Okay, so whatever form you're using or whatever body part you're working on. Wringing out the sponge. Imagine whatever body part you're on, you're just on a sponge. The tissues actually work like a sponge. So when you release, we allow the blood and the nutrients and all of the good things to come back in. It just kind of creates a pumping sensation, which is especially important for the leg, because we don't always get that pumping sensation in the leg. And as you're doing that, you're just noticing the same things we always notice. Are there parts of your legs or foot that feel less awake, that feel harder and maybe not quite as supple? Maybe there's a temperature change. Let's switch sides if you haven't already. Are there parts of the leg or the foot that are more sensitive? And maybe just spending a little bit of extra time there. This is also really good for our skin too. There's something in the Pilates world called dry brushing, which is where you just brush your skin when you wake up every morning. I actually don't do it, but I've always wanted to do it. But it's really good. It stimulates the very superficial layers of your skin and right under your skin. So it's a really good sensory tool to help wake everything up in the morning. The guy who invented Pilates actually did it every single morning. Okay. Good. When you're done with that side, go and shake everything out. Alrighty. I'll have you grab your letter ball. If you've been playing with me a while, go ahead and go right into playing letter ball. Moving, throwing it around you at whatever angle you can. Make it challenging for yourself. Maybe try single hand if you're able to try single hand catching and throwing. Okay, if you're new here, I'm just going to talk you through it. So holding that ball into your chest, you're going to pull the ball away from you at any angle that you want. You'll say the first letter number you see, and then you'll pull it back in. Pull it away at a different angle, say the first letter number you see, pull it back in. And you're just going to keep doing that all around your body. Pulling it away, quickly say the first letter number you see, and pull it back in. If you can play catch with yourself, play catch with yourself. If you can catch and throw with one hand to play a single hand game of catch, do that. If you can make it faster, make it faster. Remember, the more unpredictable you make this game, the more we're challenging your visual system and your hand-eye coordination. And your brain, just your whole brain in general. Yeah. Yeah, nice, everybody. Okay, so we're gonna do some brain speed, but it's gonna be more of a brainy brain speed, meaning I'm not gonna correlate movements with it. Okay, so if you catch a letter, I want you to think of a word that has, so let's say if I catch an F, I'm gonna think of a word that starts with G. So I want you to think of a word that starts with the letter after that. Okay, so maybe I would say go. If I catch a C, I would say elephant. Okay, so something that starts with a letter after that. If you catch a number, I want you to subtract 4 and I want you to say that number. So if I catch a 3, I'd say -1. If I catch a 4, I would say 0. So again, it's just trying to be quick. You're either saying a letter that starts with, a word that starts with the letter after the one you see, or the number where you subtract 4. Okay, a word of the letter after you see, and then a number where you subtract 4. Okay, so go for it. You're just trying to do that again as quick as you can. Try to do no repeat words. Try to think of a new word every time, even if you're catching the same letter. And for folks who are blind or visually impaired on this, if you want to work your way, just work every time you catch it. I want you to work your way backwards from the alphabet, starting at Z and then working your way. So again, just challenging your brain in that sort of a way. Just thinking of it. Every time you catch it, think of the next one. Every time you catch of it, think of the next one. Get creative with your words. Think of some wild, fun words. If you want to make it really hard, you can even pick a category like countries or foods or colors. You can have some geography fun.
What more do you want? My God.
I am asking a lot.
No wonder I'm opting out here.
Oh yes, Bonnie, that's awesome. Or animals. Oh, animals is a good one. Okay, maybe just do 3 or 4 more throws, or moving the ball around. Okay. And relax. Okay, I'm gonna have you, you know what, let's actually do, let's do breathing before we do some bigger movements. So you can set the letter ball down. I'm gonna stay zoomed in for this one. This is a different kind of breathing we haven't done yet. There was new research that came out kind of somewhat recently on this kind of breathing, and it shows that it helps with connection to your deeper core muscles. So we're going to work on this kind of breathing for the next few weeks. So we're going to go for about, we might start with maybe a minute, and then we're going to build up from a minute again over the next like 3 or 4 weeks. The kind of breath I want you to do, let's see, let me make sure I'm saying this right. So you're going to calmly just be breathing only in through nasal breathing, in and out through your nose if you can. Okay. When I say go, you're going to take an inhale through the nose, and you're going to exhale out through your mouth as quick and hard as you can. The key word there is quick. It's not this long exhale. It's like a really quick, hard exhale. So it will sound, if my mic picks this up, it will sound something like this. Open mouth, quick and fast exhale as fast as you can. As you're doing that, so we're going to do that for about a minute. We'll take like 1 or 2 relaxed breaths in between, and then we'll do the quick breath, 1 or 2. Yeah, Bonnie, go ahead.
Is the inhale slow, or what's the tempo of the inhale?
Yeah, inhale can be as slow as you want, slow and big, like you're trying to fill your lungs up. The emphasis is on the exhale. Yeah. So you'll take, I know we all have different breathing rates. So if you can't keep up with my rate, don't worry about it. Just go at whatever rate feels good, but we'll go for about a minute. Okay, so just one more time, it's going to be like a slow, just relaxed, long inhale through your nose. If you're congested, just breathe in through your mouth. It's not a big deal. And then a really fast exhale. And as you're doing this, I just want you to start to sense into what is happening when you do that exhale. Can you feel some of these deeper abdominal muscles? When you saw me do it, you saw me like come forward. Okay, so I'm using some muscles in the front here. Don't worry about doing it perfectly the first time. Just think about making it a really short, quick exhale. Okay, so here we go. So breathing normally in and out through your nose just for a couple of times. Okay, go ahead and take an inhale in through the nose and then the fast exhale. Okay, good. Couple of breaths. Inhale through the nose. Fast exhale. There we go. 1 or 2 breaths. Fast exhale. 1 or 2 breaths. And a fast exhale on the next one. Yeah, just keep going, keep going. I'm going to have you pace at your own, whatever feels right. I'm just going to watch people here. Fast. You want to make it fast. There we go. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. And as you're doing that, maybe do like 4 more rounds. Can you start to feel some of those deeper abdominal muscles? Yeah. Yeah. So this was a cool study. It showed if you did this for 3 minutes a day, 3 to 4 times a week, that it really helps strengthen, again, that deeper layer of abdominal muscles. So it doesn't take much. 3 minutes a day is not a lot. We're just starting at like 1.5 minutes here just to introduce you to it.
Raye, is there any way you can include a link to this? I would really be interested in it because it reminds me of the breathing in a very old kata called sanshin, where you're moving and exhaling very, very quickly. And I think this is quite amazing, and I would love to read about it. Is there a way you can direct us to something?
Totally. Yeah. This was in a video recently done by Z Health. which is the platform I follow, the courses that I've took on the visual and vestibular system. After class, I'll link the video, and I'm pretty sure the video has the research article in the notes. So yeah, I'll link you to that video.
Thanks.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Great. Okay, go ahead and grab one of your pencils. We just need one for now. And let's just come into, oh yeah, and then actually I want to say one more thing. If you got dizzy, I saw, Kathy, it looks like you got a little dizzy. It just means that we weren't catching your breath in between each one. So maybe instead of taking 1 to 2 breaths in between the quick breath, maybe take 3 or 4 breaths in between. So just basically allowing yourself to recover, so we're catching our breath, basically. We're not like hyperventilating. Or I shouldn't say hyperventilating, but blood in the brain and all of that. Okay, so holding that pencil out directly in front of you, I'm going to have you either looking at a letter or number, or for folks who are blind or visually impaired, pointing your nose directly at that pencil. Hold it in your left hand. Okay, let's turn and rotate to the left and then back to the center. And I just want you to start with that. Turn and rotate and back to the center. Eyes are going to stay locked, or nose is going to stay locked on that pencil the whole time. And what's the furthest back that pencil can go? Can you find a little bit more range each time? I'm just combining some vestibular work here. This is your VOR cancellation, meaning you're having to focus on something as the whole background behind it moves. Just do one more. Back to the center, switch hands, switch sides. Opening and rotating to the right, and then back to the center. And then keep in mind, the faster that you go, the harder this will be for your vestibular system. So if you're getting dizzy, then slow it down. If you want to make it harder, then speed it up. Do a couple more like that. And then I'm just going to add in one more layer for this. Okay. Bring it back to the first hand. We're going to add in pencil push-ups, but you're going to be doing the same thing. So as you rotate, I'm doing a pencil push-up. Maybe just like a couple, 2 or 3 pencil push-ups, and then I'm coming back to the center. So I'm continuously moving that pencil in and out of my face as I rotate. I'm moving a little bit slower to get my coordination, but working on that near far as you rotate with the pencil. I'll watch you. For folks that are blind or visually impaired, stay with that same movement we did the first time, where head and neck and nose follows the pencil as you rotate. There we go. Yeah. Remember, for these pencil push-ups, you're only pulling it into your face as far as you can, where you only see one pencil. If you start to see 2 pencils, you've gone a little too far. Do one more. And then we'll switch hands and switch sides. Adding the pencil push-up into that rotation. If you get dizzy, take a break, or just slow everything down. Slow the pencil push-ups down, slow the rotations down. It's okay if the pencil goes blurry, but I only want you to see one pencil the whole time. Do 2 more rotations like that. Yeah, nice, everyone. That looks great. When you've done that second one, go ahead and drop the pencil. Okay. We'll finish with some spine movements here. So we can bring hands to the top of the pelvis, top of the hips. And then let's just come right into our hula hoop rib movement. So hula hooping the ribs around the pelvis. Yeah, you can do it from standing too. Finding an inhale as the ribs come forward and exhale as they circle back. Inhale forward, exhale back. And then switch directions. Do one more. And back to the center. Good. We'll reach left arm up. And then right arm is going to reach down. Okay. Come into your side bend to the left. Take an inhale into those open ribs. And then exhale back to the center and switch sides. Other arm reaches up. Right arm reaches down. Side bend. Inhale into those open ribs. You can use your hand there if you need that feedback. And then exhale to center and switch. Side bend, inhale, and exhale, switch. Side bend, inhale, and exhale, switch. Inhale to side bend, and exhale, switch. And then can you make it a little bit more fluid? Maybe move at the speed of your own breath. So if you need to go faster or slower, then you can do that. Maybe staying with nasal breathing if you're not already. There we go. Let's do one more. And then back to the center. Awesome. Go and just find a few head tilts up and down. Finding that yes nod. And I want you to tilt your head down. Find a slow, heavy roll down. Inhale at the bottom. And then exhale to roll up. Good. We'll stack tall. We'll close the eyes. Letting your weight shift back into your sit bones, shift back into your heels. And just noticing how everything's feeling again. Your head and neck. Your chest and shoulders. Out through your arms and hands. How does the belly area feel? How does your spine feel? Your hips, your legs moving down through your thighs, your knees, and your calves. Spread the toes wide if you can. Go ahead and think of one thing you're grateful for today. We'll take one more inhale. One more exhale. And we'll open the eyes. All right. Thank you for joining, everyone. I'm going to grab that link for that video